Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of SpecTalk. I am very excited today. The weather today is absolutely out of control. I don't know where everybody is tuning in from on your own today, but I hope you guys are having a brilliant day. Let's dive in today because today is going to be a great day. Your hosts today, as always, are myself, Dory Azar, senior strategic sales specialist and architect here at RIB SpecLink, and Alex Baer, AEO strategic sales manager here at RIB SpecLink. Today's guest is no stranger to SpecTalk. Today we are welcoming back Holly Jordan to be with us on the show, and we're going to introduce Holly formally in just a second, talk a little bit about today's subject matter. But first I want to remind everybody that if you would like to enter our Specified in SpecLink contest by submitting a project name, firm owner, location, the basic stuff to spectalk.nam@ribsoftware.com, just as you see it on there. And I believe producer Morgan is going to put that in the materials handouts as well, so you'll be able to access that. We would love to see your cool projects that you're specking in SpecLink, and we will reward you with a little bit of recognition and a couple of cool SpecLink prizes. So check that out and consider submitting your projects, because I know you're also busy working on them. Today we are talking about big buildings, bigger specs. And because we're talking about big today, of course, we had to have our spec writer in from Texas today, where everything is bigger. So Holly Jordan knows a thing or two about large scale buildings and specifications that keep them running smoothly. As founder of Jordan Consultants, she's been helping design firms navigate the complexities of construction specifications since 2006. Jordan Consultants specializes in adding value to design services by guiding teams through building product research, selection, and evaluation. They also assist with sustainability, procurement, and environmental performance analysis, ensuring that the right materials and methods are used to meet the latest codes, energy codes, and LEED requirements. Holly's expertise extends beyond just writing specs. Her firm helps with submittals, substitutions, and keeping projects compliant with evolving regulations. In short, if you're working on a big building and you need big specs, Holly is going to share everything there is to know about that today. So our summary, so welcome, Holly. Welcome back, Holly. Long time no see.
Thanks. Yeah, I know. Been busy.
Well, aren't we all? But thanks for taking just a quick hour to share everything with us today. All your knowledge, everything you've ever known, we expect it to come out today.
Well, we'll
Today
see.
we're going I'll tease it out of you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about how to manage the massive scope of specs for large-scale projects. We're going to talk about some pitfalls that people might not be aware of if they haven't written for huge projects before and they're kind of entering that sphere of spec writing. We're going to talk about tips on coordination and consistency. Alex is going to be demonstrating some of the cool features that SpecLink has that help us stay coordinated and keep our information organized and simple to find. So with that in mind, let me stop sharing this screen and let's get started here. Stop sharing. Here we go. So, hey, Alex.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
All right, we're going to dive right into Holly. We're just going to put you on the hot stove right away, Holly, and get going here. So the first question is, it's a big question. We'll dive in from here. When it comes to writing specs for large projects, what is like huge projects? We're talking about like hospitals and airport, big projects. What are some of those things, like if you're used to writing small or medium-sized projects and you're starting to get into that larger, like the really big scale projects, large scale projects, what are some of the things that you would caution a spec writer to be aware of as they increase the size of buildings that they're working on?
So we want to use a master specification system like SpecLink, okay? And you want to start with well-maintained master guides like SpecLink Cloud. We want to customize your sections. You want to break things down into manageable sections, okay? Organize your specs, okay? Assign sections to specific team members. For a giant project, you're not going to, you may not do the entire project yourself. You may have different spec writers working on it, hopefully, if you have more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a specific area of expertise. I hate doing waterproofing specs. So my husband, he's best at waterproofing and glazing. And so we look at our team and we kind of organize and assign sections. You want to prioritize the most critical sections first, like roofing, waterproofing, you know, um, laboratory equipment for a big lab job.
Hmm.
Okay. You want to leverage the automation because it's going to speed things up. You want to make sure that everybody is standardized with their language and their formatting because the bigger the project, the more consultants that you have. Okay, you want to do QA, QC. You want to coordinate and participate, and you want to stay engaged throughout the project. Don't just write specs in a vacuum. You really need to remember that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of working parts, and get to know your architects, right? Get to know your team, develop a relationship, and use the tools that Alex is showing on the screen. Um, Communication tools within the SpecLink. I can talk back and forth. You can at back and forth. You can share with everyone. You can share with manufacturers. So it's all about mostly coordination. How's that?
Let's that's every
A
one of
lot.
those things that you listed is its own episode. But let's dive into
Right.
what Alex was demonstrating. I was just demonstrating a second ago with the collaboration tool. Now, I mean, communication is going to be key at on a two-person job, right? But
Right.
as they're getting larger, the amount of communication grows exponentially. So, Alex, could you walk us through what you're doing there with the collaboration and who has access to it? Do they need a SpecLink license to be able to collaborate, leave comments? Could you tell us a little bit about that feature you're showing here?
Absolutely, yes. So this is kind of a free form feature that comes with the system. So any users of the SpecLink program will have access to this commenting feature. As Holly had mentioned, you do have the ability to at certain people, and you can invite certain people to particular projects. With the SpecLink program, outside of your kind of user group at your company for your large airport or hospital system, you can also invite outside people to that particular project. So whether that be the owner, project managers, particular consultants. Maybe it's a manufacturer, you want to gain some valuable feedback on their products before specifying them. So anybody you'd like to include in this project from your own project team and your current users and your environment and your program, SpecLink program, or people that you want to invite again from the outside, they'll have the ability to, all of those participants will have the ability to view and then also make comments on the specifications. So again, these
So key
comments can
point.
be added.
Key point, Alex. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
One of
Yeah.
the things is sometimes people get overwhelmed by seeing the whole project, and you can invite someone to see the whole project, or you can invite someone to comment or view a division or certain sections, like our interior design friends. Again, I'm hating on the waterproofing people, but they don't want to see the waterproofing. They want to see the things that are applicable to them. So you can share the whole project. You can share a division. You can share certain sections. So you can choose. And I think for coordination, I think that's like really great by choosing who can see, who can view or comment on what.
Absolutely, yeah. Isolating that focus. So yeah, you can do that and then, have that kind of direct dialogue with that particular individual. Again, you can add them within the system. So it does give you that opportunity. When you ask the question, maybe you have a particular question for Clark Dietrich. Okay, and you're sharing this with their rep. So you can come in here at that person and then, your products, you know, lead compliant, whatever that may
They are.
be. Okay, and yeah, and so they'll be able to see that they'll get a notification in the system. When they get that notification, it'll take them directly to that particular comment,
Mhm.
and then they'll be able to review that and respond. So everything's dialogue within the program. And once you're done with that particular decision or kind of coordination point with that particular person, you'll be able to come in here. You can choose to mark that as resolved, and that'll actually remove it from the sort of the punch list of to-dos. But it will always be memorialized in the system. So if there's any questions that come up later on down the road during construction, you'll be able to come back to those. You can sort by particular comments that are actually resolved within the system.
And how about a quick report on that, Alex, too, just to make sure
Yes.
that everybody knows how they can export that to a spreadsheet? So maybe a
Absolutely.
project manager could have a good overview of any outstanding questions or when a certain question was answered. I think that might be a valuable thing here. And while you're doing that, we did. Stephen had asked a question about what's on your screen right now. Some of the rows that you have are highlighted in a light blue.
Mhm.
He was asking how you made that happen.
Okay. So I believe that deals with track changes. So
Yeah,
since
that's
I have my
because he
track
has his track
change,
changes on. Hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
So, traditionally something that's kind of grayed out, that's activated within the SpecLink system. When I turn that on,
Hmm.
that'll kind of be emboldened or turned from gray to black text. But yeah, with the track changes on, it's going to also put that in a blue highlight for us. So
Excellent.
going back to your other question, so the commenting, again, you have the sort of the queue within the system that will notify you of those particular comments that are assigned to you. You can also set up the system to automate emailing to those particular participants. And then we also have an option to run reports. So you can come in here to the program. I can run a comments report, and I can choose if I want to include the paragraph text for the particular comment in the author. So I'll choose yes to those options, and then I'm going to run that project wide. If I want to run the comments report for a particular division or section, I can do that too. Okay, but when I export that particular report, it'll bring me out to an Excel document, and that will bring forward the comment report. So it's going to give me a laundry list of all of those particular comments inside of the system. Okay, it'll also tell me what.
I call that the Holly Whyja. Okay, Holly Whyja take this out of the specs, right? So you have a spreadsheet, and you have a record of all of the comments and all of the things that all of the discussions of take this out, or like I said, the Holly Whyja take this out, right? So
That's right.
it's really good to have this report. So it's a record of what's actually been discussed and what's been done in one place.
And
Gotta love that.
can you guys actually see this currently? I want to make sure that my screen share is working.
Hmm.
We can't see a spreadsheet. We can see you're about to click export.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Let
Mhm.
me move that over to.
And while we're waiting for that, guys, there's a couple of questions that have come up, all in the same vein here. So I'll ask, Alex, can you speak to who needs a SpecLink license to be able to take advantage of the commenting feature?
Yes. So the commenting feature is going to be available really to anybody that's invited to a project. So actual project managers, architects, engineers that have an end user to edit the specifications within your SpecLink program, you'll have that ability to make those adjacent comments. Now, if you invite people to the project that are not SpecLink users, they will also have that ability to make comments. So the commenting feature is actually open to really anybody that's been invited to a project. And this is, we're currently looking at the commenting report. So to
Hmm.
kind of extrapolate on that, that's going to tell you the division name, some information about the section name, and then most importantly, it's going to tell you the sort of the status of that comment. Is it an inactive or an active paragraph? And then also what is the actual paragraph? What is the text of that spec paragraph? And then what is the comment? So it'll tell you, here's the comment, and then you can also sort by comments that are resolved versus ones that are open, which is probably maybe even the most useful component of this.
All right.
Yeah, it's a great
Al,
record of conversation.
Absolutely. The accountability goes up a level when you have access to this kind of
Hmm.
information. Guys, I'm just going to
Hmm.
take a quick pause here and invite you guys to answer a question that I wanted to ask it sooner, but here we go. So, I'm curious what the largest building, because we're talking about large buildings today, what is the largest building that you've ever worked on? So the options that we have today are less than 100,000 square feet, 100 to 500,000 square feet, 500,000 to a million square feet, which blows my mind, and then over a million square feet. So I was doing I've a little bit of research, and hockey arenas, that kind of thing, usually gets into the 7, 8, 900,000, very general numbers. And football stadiums definitely exceed the million square foot mark. So just to, if you need a visual on what those look like here, but we've got a lot of people that have worked on some pretty significantly sized buildings here.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. I'm just going to end the poll real quick here so you guys can see the results. Definitely a lot of people are working on some pretty big projects here. So hopefully everybody's getting good value out of what we're asking today. So thanks for that little break here. We'll be back with a couple more polls as we move on. But sorry, Alex, if you want to keep going there.
No worries. So we'll kind of bring the screen share back over to the software itself. So we were kind of talking about some of the different communication, the ability to bring in different project managers, people to review and to comment on the specifications. One of the things that's really great with SpecLink is that it is going to keep all of your specifications up to date. So, and one of the big pieces with a larger project is also the length of the project. So the bigger the project, a lot of times the longer the project kind of goes out there. With the SpecLink program, it's a software as a service. We've got about 15 full-time spec writers that work for us, and they're constantly pushing updates out to the system. So if you're working inside of a project, let's say you're working on a healthcare project and you're 6 months into design and you want to kind of let's see what updates have actually occurred. You can actually sort that particular project by updates available. And the system's going to show you, okay, you can see I've got 118 updates in my weather barrier section. I've got 27 updates available in my thermal insulation. So it does give you that ability to kind of see what sort of cropped up in the world of changes to, reference standards and building codes and manufacturers. I can review those particular changes, and then I'll have the abilities to kind of come right into the system and accept those.
Very cool. Alex, we've had 2 more questions. I love how today the questions are coming in clumps, right? 3 people are asking the same question. 3 people are asking the same question. So back to the commenting feature, a couple of questions have come in about the whether the line has to be active or not. So does the line? So, and let me keep elaborating here. So one question was, can you comment on inactive lines? And I believe that answer is yes, because I saw that in your report. But another question is, can they limit who sees what comments? So the question is here, David's asking, how can you share only the visible parts of the spec for comments? I do not want some people to see all the spec comments. I think that's supposed to say comments. It says contents. So when you export that, actually, no, it'd be more when you shared it. Is there a way to control through permissions who can see what? Holly's given us the nod.
Yeah, I mean, you can choose who sees. You can choose who sees what. You can choose when you invite someone. You can invite them to whether or not they want to see the comments. One of the things that I will tell you that we have, it depends on the architects that you're dealing with and how savvy spec-wise they are. Some people tend to get somewhat overwhelmed if you show the active and the non-active information in a spec. And so depending on who I'm dealing with is whether I use the active view or the normal view. Because to me, I feel like when we're doing a review, I want them to see everything, the things that I chose, that I activated, and the things that I did not choose. But some people are uncomfortable with that. So when I share, I can decide who sees what. And with regard to comments, I mean, I think you can set up whether they can see comments or not see comments. That's part of when you share the project.
That's really good information. Thank you, Holly. There's so Alex, do you still have that spreadsheet open when you exported that log?
I do, yes. Yeah, we can go ahead and share that.
If you could pull that up. Another question that just came in about seeing who has been sent requests for collaboration. And I just want to make sure on that spreadsheet that it does say who it was shared to, correct? It's got all the stats on who received it, when they received it.
It shows who the comments are to, not who the project is shared to.
Right. So let me read the full question or comment here. With sending collaborating requests, is there a way? is there a log or a way to quickly see who has been sent requests for collaboration on projects? Ah, okay. So not in, so yeah, that would still, if you invite somebody externally, it would still show up as, they would still be logged as a person who it's been shared with, correct?
Well, it's going to
That's
give you
on
the
a
at
different
symbol.
screen.
Well, we'll
Okay.
give the at symbol. It's not going to sort it by, I don't believe, who it was assigned to, but the at symbol will definitely display that information in the comment text.
Okay. So in a sense, yes, it will give you some indication of who's got access or who's been invited to review that information. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
Alex, you should go to the that's a different screen if you want to see who the project was shared with. You're going to go
Okay.
to your dashboard on the particular project, and you can see who the project was shared with, and you can see who has accepted and who is pending.
Okay, let's take a
So
look.
so go to your dashboard and go to a project.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then click on your three dots on the right side.
Did I maybe jump too
Stay out of,
far?
yeah. So click to your three dots there, click on that. Okay. And click on share.
Okay.
Okay. And then it takes a sec, and then it will show who the collaborators are and whether they have accepted your invitation or not. So the
Okay. And
person
I think
who shares can go there and do that.
okay. And I think that that's also indicated through this little people icon to the
Oh,
right. So it looked
yeah.
like this library demo was shared. So if I click on that one, let's maybe use that as an
Always
example
more than
instead.
one way to do things, which is something that I really like too. There, see, so this project's been shared with Alex and Dory, and Dory has you can show what he's able to do. So you see here that Alex and Dory, Alex has been invited to see only certain sections, and he can comment, and he has not accepted the invitation. But Dory has been invited to the entire project, and because he has a SpecLink license, okay, he's been given permission to edit. Now, even if it says can edit, if you do not have a SpecLink license, you will only be able to view and comment, even if it says can edit. They must have a SpecLink license. I get this question a lot. Okay.
Holly, you are a knowledge fountain today. I told everybody when we started, we got every bit of information out of you today,
This
and
is a question I get a lot.
I can't believe these spec talks are free with what you're dishing out there. So, so let's keep moving on. Alex, are you set with the demonstration there? Were there a couple other things that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, well, I think one thing that's important to note, and some of these things are sort of just natively kind of designed inside of the system, but they work well for larger projects. So, of course, another big piece to a larger project is the shift of the winds. So, you got a lot of collaborators, a lot of eyes on the prize with the specifications and the plans and changes to what's going to go and what's not. So, one key piece just is the fact that SpecLink, again, it is an edit by selection system. So you are going through and selecting the things that you want to include to print in the final document, but nothing is ever deleted. So because of that, and it kind of inherently, if there is a change to the project, let's say that you decide, okay, you know what, we're actually not going to go with Gold Bond, we're going to go with USG for our manufacturer, because everything does stay visible. It does make it a much more sort of palatable, program with full visibility to be able to make those changes and be more nimble in a larger project with constant design changes. You've also got your track changing inside of the system. So anytime that you are making changes to that particular specifications, it is going to kind of capture that. It'll also put a date timestamp and let you know who made the change. So again, if you need to, if I made a change here and somebody wants to shoot me a quick comment to ask about something, they can do that. Everything stays visible. So flexibility is just a big piece. Wanted to mention with the sort of the nature of the way that the system works.
So what you're saying is you can choose the view. Okay, if it's overwhelming to see all of the grayed out, the not chosen items, you can change the view. You don't have to delete it. Okay, so you can change the view where you can only see the items that were selected. Now here's the thing. Basically what he's saying, and this is like really important to me, is everything is always there in a database driven platform like this. If you are using Word documents and you don't want something, or you've changed manufacturers, or you've changed something, it's gone. Okay, you delete, it's gone. And then if you need to change it, you're going to have to like go back to a master and put it back in. So this way, just turning things off and on rather than deleting, if somebody changes their mind, and oh, architects never change their minds, right, Dory?
Never
then
once.
then it's just easy to turn it back on. Okay, so that's the difference between using a Word-based document platform and a database platform like this, is everything is always there. Now you can choose, if it's overwhelming, to see everything off and on, to change your view rather than deleting stuff you don't want.
We got another
Right?
question that came in. Yes, of course. Holly, you're on a roll. I'm not getting in your way today.
Yeah.
We got another question from Jessica that I'm hoping you guys can answer with. So when it comes to sharing files, when you were back out in the upper level, when you clicked on the three dots to share a project, we're hearing that it was, and I'm just jumping back, that it was grayed out or not available to share. Alex, to the best of your knowledge, that has to do with the subscription, or the
That would be yes.
Or the
Yes.
permissions.
So
is
the
there a
permissions.
way to tell within SpecLink what subscription you've got, or would that be something you have to refer back to your sales rep or original contract, and
It
Oh,
or
would
the
you should
fact that
always
it
have
is
a great relationship with your sales guy. Come on.
absolute? Well, when they're like Alex, yeah, I mean, how could you have a bad relationship with a guy like Alex?
Oh, Chucks, thank you. But yeah, you would. So you would, yeah. You just need to check your contract and see. Unfortunately, that says the version, but it would be the company edition of SpecLink.
And it's who has what permissions. Also, you can change your system manager can decide who can do what and who can share. So that
Right.
that has to do with your role permissions too.
Okay. Jessica, I hope I'm trying to communicate with you in text, in the messaging as well. Hopefully that answer from Holly helped out. And also just a reminder that you can timestamp this 12/29 because these are all going to be uploaded to our website tomorrow, that you can go back and re-listen to any of these answers. So if we're moving too quick, or you need some clarification, we can always, or you're always welcome to go back and rewatch these. Especially
Yeah,
with
I would
Holly and
like to.
Alex being on a roll today.
Mm.
I would like to bring one point to everyone's attention, and that's, as we're looking here at these role permissions, this is actually a huge component of the system that's very helpful for larger projects too. So as you've got more, hands in the cookie jar, if you will, the specifications, you may, if you've got 50 people, that are going in and contributing to the specifications, you may not want everybody to have access to, edit the headers and footers, or be able to accept updates, or to print the specifications. So you can actually control, you can really slice and dice just about any feature within the system. You can control who has access to what, and for that particular project. So it may be something that you decide to leverage some of these different role permissions to, again, kind of govern, who can do what, and just have a little bit better control and project management over that generation of the
What's most
specification.
what's most important for that is you need to know who your system manager is and coordinate your team, so that if you need access, or you need something changed, or you can't get into something, or you can't do something, find out and know. First off, know who your salesperson is, yay, and also find out find out who your system manager is, so they can change your, because you can't change yourself. only people who have certain access, the system manager can change these roles and permissions. So I've had this come up as well. Is I'm like, well, the problem is on your side. Your role permissions need to be changed.
Uh,
So
that's a great
find
answer.
out who your system, and nobody seems to know. A lot of times they don't know who their system manager is. So that's important to find out who actually is at the top tier and has control.
Excellent answer, Holly. I'm going to jump back into another. I'm going to do two things at once here. I'm going to launch another poll question, and I'm going to launch that while those answers are coming in. Holly, I have a great question that Dave has asked that I would love to hear how you handle things. So the next poll question I'm going to ask, and this is a really fun one. So if you had to convince somebody who's not a SpecLink user, if you had to sell them on SpecLink using only one feature, what what is the one feature in SpecLink that you would use to convince people that, hey, you got to use this software? This is the thing that's going to change your game when it comes to getting your specs done. And I'll try not to say more than that. The options are on the
Wow.
screen. Holly, the question that I want to ask that Dave asked was, he says, in my experience, specs are not crafted until DD. In a large project, what tool is used to track the conceptual or SD materials before SLC is brought into the project? Excel, Smartsheet, or do you have a way of using just SpecLink right out of the gates on any given project, regardless of size and
I
phase
use the
of the
table of
project?
content. I use the table of contents, and I like expand my table of contents to have information. I know some firms use a table with the section number and name and a description, and then some people use OneNote. I love OneNote because OneNote can be digital. But I mean, you can or just jump in and have a meeting, right? Just saying.
Uh, Excellent. Dave, I hope that helps give you some clarity to your question there. The poll results are the
Wow,
faster spec
shocking.
writing for sure. What's shocking to you, Holly?
I would have.
Where are you surprised?
That's not what I would have chosen. To me, it's all about collaboration. I wouldn't
Interesting.
have.
That got the third most votes of the
Spec writing
four.
is like, okay, yeah, everybody wants spec writing to be fast, but my comment on that is fast or right.
All right. Well,
Spec link does speed things up, a
now
lot, but to me, it's all about the
only
collaboration.
only 39% of the viewers right now voted. So maybe the other
Oh, okay.
61% would
They're
tip the
busy
scales in your
collaborating.
favor. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, uh, all right. I'm just reading a couple more questions here, Alex, if you want to keep demonstrating what you were on there.
Sure. Yeah, so you can also
Oh,
sort by
yeah.
active sections, just like you can active paragraphs within a section. So this is another way to sort of condense your knowledge of what's going into the project.
Hey, Alex, click and show us the sections that need updates.
Yeah. So just kind of choose that, pull that lever here, and click that button, and we've got all of these sections that have updates available. You can see what the number of number of
Oh,
updates are, kind of at a high level
you're
too.
hurting my OCD, Alex, with all those updates. I can't stand it. I keep mine up to date. I can't stand the little bubbles. Hey, Alex,
It's
I
show us
he's
understand.
not
comments.
he's not Dr. Alex Bear, okay? I don't think he's got to
Yeah.
factor in too many things when he's working on his own sheets here.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know, but I got to keep them open to demo people. So
Right. Right. So the updates are in three categories. So you can see the master spec, the reference standards, and the manufacturer. So your updates are always in those three categories. Now, if you decide that you need to import a section, you're going to liven what you can, which means liven your reference standards. And so for your imported user sections, it will still show updates, but only on the reference standards. Just as an aside. Now show us active comments, sir. So there's two little bubbles. You have your updates available, but you also have comments. You can show uh, active comments, so you can see that that first off, somebody didn't log out right. One of those sections is locked, and then you can see the little bubbles that has. Look at the one at the bottom there. That one has active comments and it has updates. That last section down at the bottom there, Alex. See?
Yes. Yep. So 363 updates. So
Oh,
I know Holly's fallen out of her chair there. And
yes.
then we've got one comment. So again, you can click right in there.
Yeah, the comment says
And
that says, "Lord, please update your."
that's right.
We should have had like a warning at the beginning, like, there's like going to be flashing lights and
Yeah.
unupdated sections
Yeah.
that
Yeah, the comment put it on line 000. Please update.
man. I now know a new way of triggering Holly. So whenever I need to get under your skin a little bit, Holly, I'm just gonna
Oh,
I'm
I
just gonna
have
send
I
you.
have a client. I have a client, and we're not going to name names. When I took over, working on their masters, they had 15,000 updates. Their masters had.
Oh my gosh.
It took myself and another person a week.
I was gonna say that's cardiac arrest for you right there.
Yeah,
It's just
so now you know why I'm like, when I see the updates, I'm like, stay on top of them.
Oh my gosh.
okay.
That's a
So
lot
is
of
that is
updates.
that your public service announcement to everyone on? We have 141 people here right now. Do you just want to shout that from the mountaintops? Just update or acknowledge your updates.
Right. Do your updates. Keep your specs up to date. They're living and breathing documents. They should be updated. And it's very easy here to update them because everybody's like, "Oh, I don't have time to update the masters. Oh, I don't have time." But this way it shows you the updates and it's much quicker to keeping a good set of masters up to date by doing it this way.
Okay, we've got another great question that just came in from Becca about sharing projects and editing privileges. So let me read this to you because this is a good one. Becca says, I've created a project in my subscription to SLC. I shared the project with a consultant. I only gave them editing privileges. They want to upload sections from their end. How can that work? And she goes on to say, in another comment, where to go, the consultant has a SpecLink license.
They should be able to. I think they should have permissions. Oh wait, you shared?
I only gave them,
I
I
think if
shared
it's
the
a
project.
share, you can't do that. That needs to go on the roadmap. Yeah, so only the owner of the project can do import it. If you share, they can edit, but they can have edit permission, but I don't believe that they can import anything. You have to do it for them.
Uh, okay,
Annoying.
but not insurmountable. We're not gonna make
No,
annoying the last word that we say here. All right.
no.
Excellent. We are the volume of questions is ramping up here, so I'm gonna head back
Oh,
through here and try to. Oh yeah, Holly, you got people fired up now. That's it. Somebody said
yeah.
they've.
Update your documents. Oh.
You give the best answers and then the most passionate irks that I love that. I could
Well, you
chat
can
with you
tell
for a
I
long
use
time.
it, right? You can tell I use the soft. You can tell I use the platform, right?
15,000 updates.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Dismiss, dismiss, dismiss. Yep.
cringe-worthy.
Um, all right. So why don't we talk about submittals as well, guys? Because I know in the larger projects we kind of had that in our on our pregame notes about
Hmm.
some of the features that can really, when the projects get big and submittals or shop drawings or samples or things like that really ramp up. Um, what do we got to demonstrate to show how we can keep those organized and under control?
So, Alex, can you open a section and then open the pane on the left to show the tag and click on tags? So you're gonna open a section and then you see your tag over there on the left.
Oh, you know what? I tried to pull up. Let me get one that's not being worked on currently. Let me grab a different one.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna make sure it's got a lot of updates, Alex. Lots.
Oh, you are so mean. Why he's so mean to me.
Yeah, it's just
Blazing
I
is
tease
good.
because I like you, Holly. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Um, We've got one more poll question to get through, Alex. So I don't know if do you need a minute here to
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Uh-huh.
Okay, so we got one more poll question, and I'm having fun with these. So, last one, we asked it last time. We're going to ask it again. We just want to know: are you currently a SpecLink subscriber? If you're not a SpecLink subscriber and have made it this far, there's probably a lot of terminology you don't quite understand yet. But we are happy to sit with you one-on-one and walk you through and help you understand. Um, just exactly what SpecLink does, what it does for other people, what it could do for you. We're getting a lot of yes, but my consultants are not. So
Oh, yeah.
we're going to have to uh, what are we going to do, Holly? What are we going to do to the consultants if they don't, hit them with a ruler or something like that, or maybe just wag our finger
Well,
at
I
them,
mean,
or are we going to invite them, maybe give some incentive for them to come, you know, or maybe give
well,
the current users some incentive to bring their consultants over? What do we got to do here?
Well, I think it's important to know that so many of these features, the submittal reports and the commenting, and it makes it so much easier if everybody is has SpecLink and is in the same project, right? It makes it so much the collaboration, especially on a giant project. It
Mhm.
just makes it so much easier and so much quicker, and the collaboration and coordination is so much better. I mean, that's my main thing is the collaboration is the most important thing. And so, I mean, incentivizing, I think one of the things that we have certain disciplines who are very set in their ways and who are used to doing things a certain way. And well, I'm going to take myself next week to Dallas, from Dallas to Houston, to speak to some design professionals in a certain area, and walk them through and explain to them how much easier it is to collaborate. So I think getting people who are used to doing things a certain way to do something new, it's all
Mhm.
about patience and
Mhm.
education and collaboration. So that's my thing is teaching people and showing people and answering questions and patiently answering questions. And I'm always available. Somebody called me yesterday um, because she was having trouble with one of her projects. She actually was a SpecTalk person, and she got my number and she called me because she was having trouble doing something. It only takes me a second to answer a question. So I think what's most important is for our salespeople and our consultants and our users and our power users to be available to answer questions and help.
Mhm.
Was that
You
a
can
good
see on this.
answer? Was that too much?
No,
No, it's
I
not.
will.
And just to boot there, we also have a free trial that we have available for anybody that may be interested in looking at SpecLink. So,
Mm-hmm.
would love to get that in front of anybody that may be
Yeah.
of
Right.
interest
So
too.
we've got eight people here who are not current subscribers. If they are interested, the path to learning more about SpecLink is pretty clear. It's easy, no pressure, right? So just reach out and we'll help you learn a little bit more about it. Before we
Mm-hmm.
dive back in, we got another Beck. If I could give an award for best questions of the day, I think Beck is going to get the
Uh-oh.
virtual ribbon
All
today.
right.
A simple question. It says, can updates delete user created content?
It can, but you're going to get a flag. Okay. So when you click the yes for the update, it's gonna like flash in your face there and on your screen, and it's gonna let you know. Okay. So it's always
Oh.
gonna let you know, hey, you're about to overwrite a user content.
Hmm. So what would you do in a case like that, Holly? If you needed the update, but you needed your content to stay, what's the is it a copy paste and re-update it, or how would you approach it?
I don't know. I mean, there's always more than one way to do something. It's never wrong. And so sometimes when you're adding content, I just like add another line and just leave my content alone and leave your content alone. So I mean, there's always more than one way to do it, and my suggestion is play with it and see what works best for you. Or you can leave those, you can not do the update and leave the bubbles there.
Yeah, and one thing though is that so when you make edits to a particular paragraph, we have a little M asterisk button that's going to populate here in this
Hmm.
O or
You'll
origin
know.
column to the left. So when you update, let's say you had an update to this particular paragraph, it's going to update the sort of the SpecLink master guide text. Okay, but you can actually, this always has a storage of the edited version. So you can still go back to your edited version and sort of copy and paste that language back into the updated text, if that makes sense. So there's ways to sort of retrieve, even after an update, what was maybe user modified or added.
Awesome.
Very awesome. Getting some excellent comments in today. Suggestions for future episodes. This is fantastic. We're doing good. We're about quarter two. So are there any other big things, Alex, that you wanted to, how far did we make it into our submittal log demonstration here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
really
we didn't do that. Okay, so let's go over to the left and like open up your pane over there. Okay, and click tags. So I want to see your tags. Okay, so when you're doing submittals, you can see on your screen here your tags. So everything that's a submittal is tagged, and you can also go one step further and tag them differently. So I have mine tagged a little bit differently. I say submittals, and then I say samples, or you can create customized tags. So when your documents are tagged for submittals, then you can, anything that's tagged and on. Okay, so for example, samples are a big hot topic right now. So some people find that samples are wasteful. So if you turn the samples line off and you create a submittals report, only the submittals that you have tagged as submittals and that you have turned on are going to print. So in your report. So basically, everything that when you've edited the spec up or down, everything that you're asking for, as long as it's tagged and they're tagged in the SpecLink out of the box, is going to show on your submittals report.
Alex looks so deep in focus that I know he's
There.
there. He is.
So yes, so and here we have it.
We're not seeing it.
We can't see your screen, Alex.
Oh, try that again.
Alex. There we go.
What about now? Okay.
Under control.
Okay.
Brush off some dust there. Yeah, so we've got the submittals log, and that'll be project wide too. So you can see all the different submittals. You can see what types of submittals, if those are shop drawings, manufacturer qualifications, and it will give you all of those details. Obviously, this is an Excel, so it is customizable. If you wanted to add, for instance, a column for your status, for instance, of tracking those submittals, you can certainly do that too.
Okay. Perfect.
We got a question again from Stephen here, just about role permissions. I don't know if we can circle back to that real quick and just demonstrate something, but about to add a new role permission to approach. Could we run through that again real quick, Alex? Just how we where we find that and.
Sure.
Thank you.
So that'll be back on the main dashboard. We'll have a little people button at the very top left. So if I click on that button, I've got all of my current users. It'll tell me what their current role permission level is. Okay, and then we go into the role permission, which I can edit, by the way, and I can control who's at what level when I assign and create new users. And then the role permissions tab here, this is going to break down the nitty gritty. So this is going to basically break down every single feature inside of SpecLink. And then you have 4 different role permissions. We have System Manager, which is going to provide really access to every single feature. You have Manager, Expert, and Standard as the lowest. And these are set up as threshold levels. So for instance, if I have this at Manager for Access Projects tab, that means that anybody that's a manager and above has that capability. If I set that as standard, then that means anybody as standard and above has access to that capability.
And then on your people tab, you can go to the people and you can decide what their role is. So with your
All
three
right.
dots, yeah. There you go. There.
Expert.
But if you're a system manager, you can't take yourself down. You can only go from below and above. And so on this project, where are you, Dory, on this project? Okay, on this project, Dory is a contributor. Okay. So I think you can change I think you can change his role. You got a lot of system managers. Gary Christensen, I got in bad trouble because I had too many system managers on my masters one time. And I was like, no, it's not a big deal. And let me just tell you that you should not have everybody as a system manager, because what happened is I go, oh no, Gary, it's okay. It'll be fine. All of my spec writers are system managers. And darn, at the next week, one of our system managers, he deleted our template. And I had to fess up to Gary that, oh, you're right. So think about the levels of and who you want to do what. Okay.
I can tell Gary is not listening today, or else he would have been flooding
No, or else he would be laughing
he
at
would
me.
have been in here like 1,000
But I'm
times
telling you,
already.
it's very important. It's very important that you think about who should have access and who should do what, and then that's in your people tab. You decide on your people. You
Yes.
give them what access, and then you can change some of the other stuff and customize on the roles also. Okay.
Yes. I'd also like to emphasize one other feature, guys. So when we're looking at the specifications, and especially for those out there that maybe are looking at adding SpecLink to your practice, we have these handy what are called intelligent links that are built inside of the system. So you may be seeing these kind of work in the background, but just as to quickly explain them, as you're going through and selecting the different content that you want to include inside of your project, we have links that are automatically, as we make certain key decisions, either turning on automatically other interrelated paragraphs or actually flagging things in yellow for consideration or inclusion. So these links help us to kind of drive together the decisions within the specification, and they work all the way through part 1, part 2, and part 3. So they're definitely very robust in nature. And you can see as I make choices, again, it's going to kind of drive me towards certain decisions. It will also highlight things of conflict and other relations, things to bring into the spec. Also, especially with it being a larger project, you maybe have different submittals. So maybe you're starting schematic design, working your way into design development and construction documents. We actually have 3 different versions of every specification as well. So right now we've been kind of working in the world of the full spec mode, but you do have an outline specification as well, which is just going to be your information in part 2. Okay, and then we also have a short form spec, which is going to be a little bit of information in part 1 and part 3. So with this toggle switch, you can actually kind of glide from one phase into the next, and it will actually carry your edits forward from that previous phase of design. So as it's, again, a larger project, more submittals, this allows you to kind of seamlessly move into those next phases of submittals and easily kind of, work your way towards that full spec for your construction documents.
Oh,
We
Alex,
also
Without
have
losing any information. Yeah.
if you open your sequence manager over there on the left, open your sequence manager, okay,
Okay.
and then show me your tags. I think it's your tags again. Okay, so some people want to know what is going to be marked as outline, short form, or long form, and you can see there when he opens his sequence manager, the view, it's going to tell you what has been chosen as to show up when you turn it on as an outline. And I think that's very, very helpful. If you go down to part 2, you'll see. So you can see there where it shows whether or not it's a short form or whether or not it's an outline view. And I think that's very helpful when you're first trying to figure things out. is what's gonna show what's been tagged as outline, because some of the stuff I like my outline to be just a little bit more beefy, and so I set up some more customized tags for outlines also, and you can customize and do that. But I think it's very interesting that you can open your sequence manager and show and see what's been how the spec has been set up.
Guys, I hate to be the one who has to start landing this plane here, but we are down to our last few minutes, and I know every hour goes by so fast with you, Holly, and it's always such a treat
Mm,
to have you on. And I do believe there's still some knowledge in that brain of yours that we did not tap into today. So if it's cool with you, we'd love to have you back another day. Would you do
sure,
it? Okay. Do I
maybe
still get to
if you're
do I
nice.
get to no promises there. I will not. I do not agree to those terms and conditions, but I do agree to ask nicely the next time that it comes
Okay.
around. So um, I'm going to just try to share my screen. I think I totally botched my screen share at the beginning of the of the day, but
Mhm.
let me try this again and see if I can't make this happen. You think I'd be able to make a good run of this here, but how is that? I'm just going to fly through. Can we see that? Can we see me asking you guys to be SpecTalk yes?
I think you
We
passed over that slide.
How about that slide?
Yeah,
That one?
let's have somebody else answer questions. Let's see, because the
No
more people
problem.
who ask or answer questions, the better, the more we learn, right?
No problem. We would love to have you guys submit your names for if you'd like to be a guest for a future Spec Talk. And our next Spec Talk is going to so if you want to get in touch with Holly, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
hjordan@jordanconsultants.com. Or
Excellent.
you
Or you
can
can
go to
visit
our website. We got that beautiful website up and
beautiful
running. Yeah,
website. And
jordanconsultants.com.
in 2 weeks, we are going to have the incomparable Eric Ledbetter on
Ooh,
as a
he's one
guest,
of my
where
favorite guys. He's awesome.
he is everybody's favorite. If you don't know Eric, your life has a small void in it because he is such a smart, great guy, and he's got a knack for teaching. He is so good at explaining ideas.
Hmm.
The next episode is going to be called Link Outside of the Box. Ha ha ha! But it's going to be all about linking and some of the advanced ways that Eric's using those tools to make his spec writing A to B journey just a lot smoother. So
Hmm.
definitely do not want to miss that. If you want to connect with any one of us here on LinkedIn, we'd be more than happy to stay in touch. That way you won't miss any updates about upcoming episodes or recaps. But having said that, Alex, always a pleasure, my friend, sharing the screen with you. Holly, never a dull
thank
moment
you.
when we've got each other's attention for a full 60 minutes. So thank you, everybody. Keep an eye out for your emails because we will be sending out follow-ups and ways you can relive this episode because I don't know, it's pretty good, Holly, pretty good today. So thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, March 19th. Be there. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.